Record.
Oh, wait.
Aloha, it's Antonio with HypnosisProductReviews.com. Today I've got Stephanie Conkle from StephanieConkle.com. How you doing?
Hey, good, Antonio. Thank you for having me.
Boys, yeah, so this has been a long time coming. We recorded a podcast when I was in Atlanta 2 years ago, I think it was.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, that video, the sound was god-awful, and I decided to stop everything. So
yeah, I was just like, I don't know if I remember hearing it go up, but okay, is that what happened?
It's not you, it's me. I got lazy.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, I wanted to get her on the podcast. Is I've been hearing a lot of buzz about her profound somnambulism protocol. So give us the gist. Give us maybe your background, the gist of profound somnambulism.
Yeah, I know. Say that 3 times fast, right? So profound somnambulism. Okay, so basically this is the deepest level of trance that you can put a client into. It's beyond the Esdale state. It's beyond the coma state. Like you have to pass through Esdale and coma to get to profound somnambulism. So it's basically deep trance hypnosis to begin with. Now, I know that people have their opinions about whether or not depth of trance actually exists. Okay, but just for our purposes, I'm going to use that metaphor of depth of trance. So it's very deep state trance. Now, how my protocol differs from other protocols that you've seen out there, how it differs from like the Simpson protocol or the Sickort state, or what are some of the other deep trance ones that you hear about all the time? Yeah, is that we're not using ideomotor responses with my protocol. We're actually eliciting the voice of the subconscious. So we are actually putting the client to sleep. Okay, I'm going to use the word sleep. This is sort of another weird area here, but I'm going to just say the word sleep for just my intents and purposes. We're going to put them to sleep, the conscious mind completely to sleep. So we're talking to the pure subconscious. And this pure subconscious talks back to me using the client's voice box, with the client completely sleeping, dreaming, or out of the way. So when I'm talking to the subconscious, now I'm actually getting a better understanding of what's going on with the client. So I don't have to play, 20 questions with their fingers. I don't have to make up questions and hope that I get the answer. I don't have to, that gets rid of all ambiguity. If I get a yes or no, or maybe a response, I don't have to keep guessing. What do they mean by that? Because the subconscious is talking back to me in full sentences. If there's a secondary gain, the subconscious will let me know. If the subconscious can clear out something for the client, it will let me know. When they're in this deep level, they also, some really wonderful and kind of strange things can happen too, because you can have the subconscious do a body scan and go in and look for places that need healing, restoring, or repairing in the client, and you can ask the subconscious to heal or repair or restore anything that shows up in the client. And the subconscious will do that for you as long as it agrees to it, but you can get the subconscious to agree to it. And that just kind of, you learn how to do all of that when you take the course. So
I just want to make a disclaimer, because I know a lot of people have seen my posts on Facebook. They know I'm very scientific minded, very analytical.
Yeah.
I know there's and I don't want to get the whole politics of it now, but I know there's a lot of people that make claims like you can do this, can't do this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I just want to say that I'm just interested in the protocol, and I don't want to make it an endorsement of saying this protocol can cure cancer, or this or that.
Oh, no. And I'm not even claiming that it can cure cancer. The claim that I'm making is that it could do anything that normal, regular, your typical hypnosis can do. Okay. But the claim that I make is that you get clear ratification from the subconscious. If the subconscious is resisting you, or if it's complying with you, you will know that. You will get the ratification with no ambiguity. That's the only claim that I make. And I definitely would not, even though spontaneous healing has occurred with my clients, I still would never make the claim. It's kind of like how you would never say that hypnosis cured anybody, right? Even though clearly many of your clients have walked away with the symptoms removed, right? But you would never say cure or I'll use the word heal sometimes, but I'll never use the word cure. But again, it is still hypnosis. It's hypnosis. So it's not anything spiritual. It's not, I don't know. It's not something different or other than hypnosis. It's all hypnosis. It's just a different way of using hypnosis to help the practitioner.
Okay. And I had a question, but then that magical thing called brain fart occurred. Brain farts. Oh, I know that. I have a feeling that you have some experience to the Swan protocol.
I've never taken the Swan protocol. I know that in the protocol, I believe that the subconscious voice is elicited after using idiomotor responses.
Very similar.
But I've never used. And I've never used. I'm friends with Bob Burns, but I've never used it. I don't even know how he does his protocol. But you can use, and I encourage you to use his protocol if that's something you want to do. With mine, we never even set up an idiomotor response. So we don't do anything with the hands at all. I don't even want, and I actually say, please do not set up any idiomotor responses. Because if you do set up an idiomotor response, then the subconscious might think that it's okay to use them. And we don't want to set that precedence from the beginning. From the beginning, we're actually kind of keeping them talking. And so that the client knows that they are allowed to use their voice. And then there's going to be a changeover in the voice. So it's kind of like we're deepening the trance the whole time during the session. And then towards either the end of the session or whenever you're ready to drop them into profound somnambulism, then you'll hear a definite change in the client's voice where the voice sounds different. It either gets louder or softer. And it usually sounds like it's so hard to explain, a completely different voice. Now, sometimes it sounds very drastically different, and sometimes it's just only a subtle difference. But there's ways that you can tell that you're talking directly to the subconscious, and there's ways that you can test it. And it's not the normal way of testing for depth. It's something else that you do that I teach you. I can't really reveal that here, but I can teach it to you if you buy the video course.
You look below or above this video, you should find a link to it. So when you say something about dropping them into the profound somnambulism, is there anything you can, like any little teaser you can reveal about that?
A teaser?
Is like the whole protocol in a nutshell?
I'm not sure what you're asking me.
Well, I'm curious how, we talk about going through the different depths, or the quote unquote depths of trance. How, if you can tell me, I don't know if you can without revealing too much, how do you actually drop the person in, or teach people to drop people into that profound somnambulistic state?
Oh, right. Yeah. So I can't go into too much detail about that because this is what you're learning. But I can tell you that you start off any way that you would do your typical hypnosis session. And if you do regression work, it works with that. If you do parts therapy, it works with that. If you do content-free hypnotherapy, it works with that. Although I don't think as well as parts or regression, but you can still use it that way. But there's a particular. But as you're doing your typical hypnosis, in the induction phase, there's a couple of very important steps that you just throw in. You pepper it in with what you're already doing. Or I do also have a script. If you want to do my script verbatim, you can, but you don't have to. As long as you follow the protocol, you don't have to do the script. So there's a few things that you would throw into the induction. And then there's something specific that you do. And then after that specific thing, then you'll have them in profound somnambulism. And then I teach you how to navigate your way through profound somnambulism, talking to the subconscious. And then I teach you how to integrate the subconscious, and then you can test for changes and whatever. So you'll merge them, and then it'll be just like any like I said, any regular hypnosis session, except the only difference is you get the subconscious talking through the client's voice, and you have a higher rate of the client waking up with total amnesia of the session. And because of this, I typically will record all of my sessions, because I would say maybe 75% of the time you'll get the client having either total amnesia of the session or partial amnesia, where they'll only forget the part where the subconscious is talking, but maybe they remembered some of the other the work that you did in the beginning of the session.
I was gonna say, God, stupid brain farts. I was gonna say, one thing I used to do to get people really deep. I haven't done this in a long time. I think I was reading about it was about the Esdale state. I would do it's like visualization or metaphor of being on an elevator, and I would just have them go from like floor to floor to floor, and eventually, after like doing it so many times, you're conked out.
Yeah.
Drop like a rock.
Yeah, and so, and then I find my students who have been using my protocol, some of them have already been using deep trance states, and they have their favorite deepening protocols that they're using already. And I say that's cool. If that works for you already, then go with that. And then I just teach them how to bring transition them into profound somnambulism from there. But I have a different. I don't use one particular metaphor like that to get them there. There's a couple of steps that you have to do, and it's very simple steps. It's just doing them and knowing to do them. So it's real easy to learn. It's real easy to master this. I do ask that if you start using it, that you do practice a lot before you use it on paying clients, or if you use it online, practice in person first to make sure that you've really got it. But no, it's really amazing, and it's really wonderful. And it's even the first time that I heard the subconscious voice and the change in the voice that occurred, it kind of scared me a little bit. Like, it kind of startled me, because it was kind of like, do, like, this is a little freaky. But, you just keep your game face and your professionalism, and you just, keep pushing through it. So you will be a little bit startled the first time that happens, but just know that it's going to happen, and know to keep your game face on, and you'll be fine.
If you don't mind me asking, are there any different, I guess, how do I say, any different, or how did this come about? Was there any different specific schools of thoughts where everything just started to kind of mold together?
Yeah. So, so it started because it's kind of I'll try to make this quick too. It's kind of a long story of how this started, but I knew that there had been a few times over the years where I knew I was talking to the subconscious, the pure subconscious. But I didn't know how that happened. And when I first started off as a hypnotist, even before I got my practice, I was just reading a ton of information about hypnosis. And I bought this CD on eBay, and it had like, I can't remember how many, 200, like a library of 200 hypnosis books that were all out of copyright, so they could resell it, right? And so I would just sit there and read all of these books, and I would just absorb them. And these are all of these like hypnotists who worked at the turn of the century, but they're not anyone famous that you would know, right? So, but there was a lot of good information in there. Now, of course, some of that information is old and outdated, but what I was sort of noticing was this pattern that they were talking they were talking directly to the subconscious, and the subconscious was talking back to them. And I think even Dave Ellman did a little bit of that with his hypnoanalysis, but a little bit different than that too, than what we're doing exactly. But I think those hypnotists back then just kind of knew how to do that, and it's just sort of a lost art. Then I took QHHT course, which is Dolores Cannon's past life regression course. And in that course, the past life regression stuff was really fascinating. It was cool and everything. But and then she elicited the subconscious voice, but she did that. But in order to do that, she had you take them through several past lives, through the person's death scene, revivifying the death scene, and then would talk to the subconscious. And I just thought well, first of all, where I live in Georgia, there's not many people who are coming to see me for past life regression anyway, right? So, I mean, I do have clients who see me for that, but that's not the majority of my clientele. The majority of my clientele, of course, want to stop smoking, lose weight, and do all the typical stuff. So I thought, well, I don't really need the past life regression part of it, but that talking to the subconscious voice is cool, but I didn't know how to do it without taking them through a past life. So basically, because because of that, I knew it was there. I knew you could talk to the subconscious. I just started putting pieces together just from books that I read, from classes that I've taken. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to spend a couple of years figuring this out. And I never thought I would sell it as a class. I just thought I would use it for myself. I'm like, I'm kind of a lazy hypnotist. So I want to do the easiest thing possible that gets the biggest results, right? So, that's it.
I make it more harder than it should be.
Right, exactly. Oh, and that's the other thing too I wanted to say is that if you need to see the client for a subsequent session, with this protocol, you get them back into profound somnambulism. Now you're making me mess up on that word. By just giving them a trigger word. There's a trigger word that you'll set up in the first session, and then all you have to do is give them this trigger word, and then they're dropped in 30 seconds back into profound somnambulism, and you have the subconscious voice again. Okay. So then I just spent a couple of years trying to figure out how I could talk to the subconscious. And one of the first things I had to figure out was throw out the ideomotor responses. And that took me a while to figure that out. Like, just throw those out. You don't need them, and it's confusing. The other thing that I had to sort of learn was that the subconscious is always awake. It's always watching. It's always listening. Whenever your client walks into your office, I now think of there being 4 people in the room instead of 2 people in the room. So from the very beginning, I'm sort of, even though the subconscious is obviously a part of the client, if I just sort of acknowledge it as almost like it's another person, that helps the hypnosis a lot. It also helps in the dissociative process. So when I start talking to the client from the get-go, from the beginning of the session, before I even do any kind of formal hypnosis on them, I'm acknowledging their subconscious, and I'm doing it at very subtle levels. And then I'm directing some of my speech, even directing my speech to the subconscious. I'm sort of letting the subconscious know that, hey, I know you and I see you, and we're going to work together. So it's just, a lot of it is just acknowledging that the subconscious is there, and the subconscious is helping the client and wants to help the client.
It opens a clear line of communication.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I mean, it's so fascinating, this whole. So we're always talking to the subconscious anyway, whether or not the subconscious is talking back to us or not, right? So in hypnosis, that's the whole point.
Can you hear those kids yet?
Oh yeah, I hear that. Well, you may hear my kids in a little while too.
These kids are amplified.
It's okay. They're not bothering me. But yeah, so oh, where was I now?
Clear line of communication.
Right. So yeah, okay, this is where I was going with this. So we're always talking to the subconscious when we're hypnotizing the client there, so we're always just talking to the subconscious. We're giving it commands, or we're giving it suggestions, right? And we're always talking to it. But the difference here is that we are allowing the subconscious to talk back to us, and we're getting clear sentences from the subconscious. We're getting clear communication, so we don't have to play 20 questions with the fingers.
I have a question. Would this protocol, I don't know if you could actually apply this to recordings per se, but it seems like with the profound somnambulism, it does a good job of getting the conscious mind totally out of the way so people can better follow the suggestions.
Yeah, that's it.
Could this protocol be adapted for actual recordings, even if you haven't talked to the client? Or is it more of an interactive process?
It's definitely more of an interactive process. However, I will say that I have a video up on YouTube where the way I do the video is I'm sort of talking directly to the subconscious on the video, and I'm acting as if the subconscious is picking up what I'm saying. And I've actually gotten clients off of that video because this has overcome self-sabotage. And so I have clients from all over the world now who've watched that video, and they're like, I don't know what you did there, but that's the best video I've ever seen. And now I want you as my hypnotist. And I was like, and it was just a little 20-minute video, but I know why that was so effective. I know why that was more effective than all of these other YouTube videos out there. It's because of the way I was addressing the subconscious. I was doing part of the protocol. I don't think enough where you could really understand what I was doing.
I
without
listen to that video.
You can, listen to the video if you'd like. There's some things I use in there for sure, but you definitely need to take the class in order to know how to elicit the voice of the subconscious through the client's voice box. But yeah, there's a few things that you do, or I'll give you one secret away, which you'll find in this video too, is just reconnecting the client back to their childhood in some way. And I'm not saying you have to regress them, but just get them thinking about their childhood. Really starts to dissociate them and helps to bring them
from present
deeper.
time.
Say that again.
Disassociate them from like the current experience, right? The present time.
Yeah, well, yeah, just kind of anytime you start thinking of your childhood, right? That's already gonna alter your brain. It's gonna alter your mind right there. So that's one of the first steps that you would do with the protocol. But there's more steps to it than that. And so in that video, I do talk about their childhood, and so I know that part of that is what kind of brings the subject or the client or the volunteer deeper.
Okay. Little teasers.
There's a little teaser for you.
Now you just got to get the key to get through the.
That's right. The key to get through the door.
So let's see. We've covered profound somnambulism. What else? Hypno Thoughts Live. You're going to be teaching this there, or
I'm going to be teaching a 4-hour class with Kaz Riley. I don't know if they've made the announcements yet, so not sure if I'm supposed to say this yet. But we're going to be doing an interactive class. So you know how you just go and listen to lots of lectures, and a lot of those lectures are just the instructor standing there and just talking, but you're not really getting the hands-on experience, right? And then sometimes all they're doing is like promoting their class, that they want you to pay for or whatever. So, but with what we're doing in this 4-hour class is interactive hypnosis. So we'll do inexperiential hypnosis. So basically whatever you guys want to learn, if you want to learn glove analgesia, or if you want to learn, negative hallucinations or positive hallucinations, or, a little bit of somnambulism, I could go into that. So whatever it is that you guys want to learn, we're going to teach it and then make it available to have an interactive experience. Does that make sense?
Sounds good. I cannot wait. Actually, I always have these dreams that I'm like, oh my God, HypnoThoughts is here. Ah! It happened the past 2 years. I had 2 years, I think it was 2 years ago. It was like 6 months before the conference. I had a dream I was in Vegas. I'm like, going to the bathroom. I pee. I come out and I see, I'm in a hallway. I'm like, why is Igor Olahovsky here? I'm like, oh shit, the conference. And I'm scrambling to make it to the conference. And I woke up, I was like, oh, bad night. Bad nightmare.
I wonder what your subconscious is trying to tell you there, Antonio.
Pay things way ahead of time.
There you go.
But see, it's harder coming from Hawaii. It's so much more expensive.
Yeah, I can imagine. What time is it over there?
About noon.
About noon. Okay, so it's 5 o'clock over here.
Getting a late wake on the day. Start on the day.
It's a late start on the day. Okay.
So this we've been going about an hour. Got some good stuff covered. So what is the website for Profound Somnambulism? Or is it?
Okay, so right now, if you go to the Profound Somnambulism and Beyond Facebook group, that's where you're going to find information to purchase the course. These are video courses, so you can watch them at your own leisure. You also get 10 continuing education credits for those, a little certificate that comes with it. I will also do some live Q&A sessions from time to time. Once you've purchased the group, then you get put into a separate Facebook group, a secret Facebook group only for the paid students. And then on that group, in that group, I will answer any questions you have about the protocol, if there are any questions after you've watched the videos. So there's lots of sample sessions that I did with my own clients who gave me permission to use their material. I've got some videos, I've got lots of audios up there, some student sessions. So there's lots of information for you. Oh, and then the last thing is, and for you too, Antonio, check around Cyber Monday, because I'm going to be giving some good discounts on my website, and also for my classes too, on Cyber Monday. And my website right now is clearliferesults.com.
Monday, is that after Thanksgiving?
Yeah, so Thanksgiving is, what day is that on? I have to look at the calendar, but it's next. I don't know when you're going to be posting this. And I know I'm
going to try posting it the next day or so.
Oh, okay. So then it's going to be, I think Thanksgiving is a week from Thursday, and then the following day would be Friday, and I may do something on Black Friday, I'm not sure. Then it would be the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and then the Monday after that would be Cyber Monday, I think. And then I'll do something on Cyber Monday for you guys. You can also go to, I'm sorry?
No, so we could do some kind of bonus thing, like, hey, click a link and then order, get her protocol, and she'll hook you up with a discount.
Yeah, I'll give you some kind of discount if you click on. Yeah, look, I'll do that for sure. I'll get with Antonio and we'll give you some kind of discount just for watching this video and just for being subscribed to Antonio's podcast.
Good stuff, and I cannot wait to get back out for HypnoThoughts.
Yay, I can't wait to see you again. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate your time.
Definitely. Let's see if I can hit stop without everything falling apart over here.